maybe. There we go. And then we can talk about also what we want to do or what the potential options are going forward. So first of all, the rewards programs that will be ending, they'll be ending on October 31st. For the most part, there's one caveat, but for the most part, they are Rainfall, Fox Back on Trades, and Fox Fuel. The other one that is ending is earning 10 free Fox tokens upon sign up, and any referral Fox tokens that a user gets from referring another user. The one caveat to this is that any users who earned Rainfall before September 14th, 15th, 14th, okay. 14th have until December 14th to claim their USDC. But all other rewards programs will be ending October 31st, and so users will have until October 31st to claim those rewards, be it either USDC or Fox. Okay. Danielle, do you want to add anything before I go on?
Nope, nailed it. And yeah, I hope, I know we're communicated that out already in like the blog and through these meetings and some emails, and we're going to send a final reminder email this week as well. And yeah, so pretty much done everything on our end to shut these down, and we're looking forward to seeing what's next.
And I'm putting a link to the blog post in the stage chat right now. And then the other piece of this that we discussed pretty in depth last week, but the sort of overarching premise of rewards going forward is the concept that any protocol that does revenue shares with the ShapeShift DAO will be able, users who use those protocols will be able to earn Fox rewards on those. That's pretty broad. One example of this is Yearn. Yearn does a revenue share with partners who integrate the protocol. So when the DAO earns revenue, then a certain amount of Fox would be given to users who use that protocol. So for example, if I deposited like USDC into a Yearn vault, then I would be able, assuming it passes governance, caveat, but then I would potentially be able to earn Fox rewards based on that. Today's call, the main goal is, John, also feel free to hop on up if you want to add anything to that, or potentially Marley or any others that have ideas. But the other piece of this is really looking to get feedback or thoughts or new ideas from anyone in the community that has spent some time thinking about this. Did you want to add anything, John?
Yeah, I think you covered that part well. So, I mean, the TLDR is that these legacy programs that were mainly funded and created by the ShapeShift company are going away because the company's going away. But this just opens up the opportunity for us to create hopefully better programs that the company couldn't do going forward. Also, when the company created these programs, governance didn't really exist. So obviously that's the main use case of Fox today. For the DAO, but we had a lot of good discussions, at least in the last meeting I was in, and I think in the first one that I unfortunately was unable to join, about other things that we might be able to do. I've been in particular very, very getting quite bullish on this idea of like some sort of staked Fox and finding a way to make that attractive and find a way to reward users who want to do that in kind of a one-sided pool like that we put up. I know engineering, talking with Josh he was on the call last time, was going to maybe start to look into some of that. I know that they're focused on the V2 launch at the moment, so I don't know how imminent that is. But I think it's a good thing for the community to just keep these discussions going of, what is going to be a good program and how we bring value to Fox holders with whatever we do.
And to piggyback on that, I also love the idea of rewarding Foxes for contributing to validators like the ones that Marley's creating. Those are direct revenue streams for the DAO, but more important, at least to me, in terms of the utility of the token itself, is that it's one of, to me, the clearest competitive advantages within that space. Right now, staking is you're trying to find the lowest commission percentage and you're trying to make it as painless as possible. If we were to create more and more validators or link up with revenue shares with more and more validators and be the place where people can park and store their crypto, and they also can earn some Fox tokens back as well as low commissions or industry standard low commissions, I mean, we become immediately within the next 1 minute after it's implemented, the most efficient and most beneficial way to stake your assets. I would love to see that on the initial push, just because of how I believe underserved staking kind of is, where it's like there are places like Pickle who have Dill and other sorts of ways that they try to reward the staking. But if we were to offer a situation where it was just, you can stake, you get low commission, and you get Fox back staking through here, and then, as John was saying, have additional places to stake that Fox as well, and just keep that chain going. I mean, it becomes, I don't see other protocols being able to catch up to us quickly without straight up copying us, which makes us a market leader de facto.
Yeah, something I'm getting really interested in is on various, and maybe this is a work stream or team that needs to be developed more by the DAO, but various ways to use the treasury to our advantage and to the advantage of Fox token holders. So, one of the things we talked about last time, for anyone who wasn't on that call, was this idea of like, if we can end up getting a token reactor through TokenMac, like maybe one strategy that would be really great is you create a pool where people can stake their Fox. They get some sort of, S Fox, staked Fox in return that they can use on various things. But basically that could auto compound, and you could have that Fox directed to something like a token reactor where it could earn interest even without additional Fox emissions, and even then be directed by the DAO or by some treasury management, squad or something on the DAO or committee, to do useful things on behalf of the DAO, add to liquidity pools where we think it can earn the most interest or be the most useful, and then pay people who basically put up that capital, put up that Fox as a result, or you pay them back a portion of revenue, either directly or even just, basically through buybacks. One thing I've seen a lot of these other DeFi protocols do that I'm really becoming bullish on and really like is they'll have programs like something like I'm looking at something like Abracadabra, where they have staked Spell. And what they do is when they have revenue come into the system or into their DAO, they basically buy back their own token at market, and then they distribute that to the stakers. So you could have something like this, where basically a portion of revenue is allocated that the DAO is about to start having revenue streams. I mean, as soon as November 1st, when the validator that Marley and his team put up, that will instantly be a revenue stream. And there's a couple others they're developing now that we have protocol-owned liquidity. And some other things that are happening, and that's pretty cool. So if you take a portion of that revenue and you say return that to Fox stakers, or when they're doing revenue generating activities, I know Willie liked that idea a lot. It could basically grow their Fox that way while also buying it back from the market and basically bringing value to all Fox holders. So that doesn't mean we have to do it exactly like that, but those kind of concepts to me become super powerful and far more powerful than any of the reward programs we had before. So I'm excited to see us explore things like that and hopefully move things more in that direction. I mean, we also have this, one thing we didn't even have last week is this fuse pool now exists that the DAO now actually owns, which is pretty cool. That actually allows borrowing against Fox. You can borrow stablecoins against Fox, and there's no reason. I was just talking in the lunch AMA call at the end of that call that the DAO can't start using. For example, if a bunch of people put up stake Fox, the DAO could use that stake Fox to take stablecoin loans and then go farm with it on other places, do various things to generate yield and return that yield to the Fox holders of the people staking Fox. So there's a lot of various strategies we could put in place on like a, what they call a pool one or single-sided Fox staking pool to reward those holders and reward them for locking up their Fox for a period of time. So I'm very bullish on all sorts of concepts like that. Ultimately, I know that we had 3 of these calls scheduled to talk about this and talk about these programs ending and what might come next. Ultimately, this should likely move into the tokenomics work stream, and then that should start getting worked on in combination with product and engineering and ops and stuff. But I'm really excited to see some of this move forward because we just, every week we have more options than we did before.
You've got me all excited about the tokenomics work stream now.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple quick questions that came up in stage chat. let's see. One question is, and I think Danielle, I'm going to pass this one to you, is does claiming the rewards generate ETH fees? I think that question means, does the user have to pay ETH to claim? This is my assumption, but correct me if I'm wrong. Danielle, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to talk, Danielle, but we're not hearing anything.
Yeah,
Oh.
weird.
Okay, how about now?
There we go.
Sorry, that was weird. So right now, ShapeShift pays for all of the minor fees. So any fees to send the Fox to people and send the fees to USDC, ShapeShift has been covering that, and that's definitely something that the teams thinking about new options should keep in mind. I know that Willie has talked about some things that are more like what we did with the airdrop, where the user covers the fees, and that might be a little better for the DAO. And we've had to put in minimums and things like that to kind of protect ourselves. When it was 5 Fox or 10 Fox or whatever it was, we were paying more ETH than the person was getting in Fox. So yeah, in the current programs, ShapeShift has covered all those. I think in the future it might make sense to consider having the user do that, and then they can decide when it's most valuable to them to claim their rewards.
Yep. I think, that has been a topic of conversation. And I think the other piece that Willie touched on last week is there is potential, or there may be potentials for looking into like layer 2 solutions with lower fees, but that's still, big work in progress and something that could be considered in, I think, in the tokenomics workstream. Okay, and then one other question, and I think, Diggy, I'm going to pass this one over to you because I think you can talk about it more fully. Will the reward section be totally removed or just the balances?
So different things for different pieces, but essentially the rewards sections will be removed for the claiming of like the Fox farming and the Fox back. But for the rainfall, that will still be up. So the ability to claim your rainfall rewards will still exist until December 14th.
Yeah, and then I think, again, when we do have the new rewards programs in there, that is something that the tokenomics workstream can be worked on with the engineering and product workstream to figure out what that looks like in the UI and how that works for users. Okay. Let's see. Does anyone else in the audience have any questions? You can raise your hand and I can invite you up if you do. Or thoughts or feedback or anything else. Or you can post them in stage chat.
My question is just more like, I think right now it makes sense to talk about it as like a shared responsibility. It is something that the community should have input on, and that tokenomics product, like everybody. But I do think it could help if this project did have like a leader or someone who was kind of just continuing to drive it forward after this call. We don't have really anything else scheduled as far as I know. So I'm just kind of thinking about that. Like, do we see it as being just like shared responsibility and everybody's thinking about it? Should it be one person that should kind of be the project manager of the rewards program type stuff? What do you guys think?
I guess my thoughts were that this would kind of fall under the Fox, the tokenomics workstream, as it seems like to make the most sense to live there.
I agree with that. I've also already contacted Willie and sort of volunteered myself. I want to help on that work stream, but I think that we want to have all of these rewards. We want the rewards that were created by the centralized ShapeShift were extremely well intentioned. They were well thought out, well designed. I feel that they were well implemented. I really liked using them in the application, and so I don't really have a concrete answer, but I do have a feeling that I would like the DAO to take the same level of care in creating the new ones and have that additional criteria of, as a DAO, we have some flexibilities that a centralized company does not have in terms of being able to, try to build utility into the token. And so I feel like it would be a disservice not to have, the tokenomics workstream in a large collaborative group not working on this, because, there's opportunities here to sort of push this even further and accomplish even more than what can be accomplished in a centralized company just due to the regulations that are placed on them. And so that's my general feeling, is that I'd like it to be in the tokenomics workstream. I'd like to see a lot of people come in and try to contribute, and I'd like to see these, be very tied back to revenue drivers, utility for the token, and utilizing and leveraging the possibilities that a DAO enables us to do over a centralized company. I mean, that's where the real power, I think, lies.
I think it still could be good to have like a community member or someone, not just to dump this on like Willie's plate or whoever is working on that, like someone to just kind of take this as a charge and, obviously get everyone's feedback on it and all that. But so is that what you're volunteering for, Pete? Am I volunteering you for that?
You are trying to volunteer me for that, but I've got more than enough on my plate. I don't think I could responsibly do that.
Right.
To the ability that I think needs to be done. I am very much, I reach out to Willie, in sort of like whoever, I think that, this tokenomics workstream, we were just talking about it on our last like fireside chat that, kind of just ended. I think that this is a workstream that, we're really looking for someone in the community to step up and lead and really start pushing it forward. And I think that there are a lot of people like me who are doing other things, but would really like to be involved and like to contribute their ideas and efforts into the workstream. But the marketing and growth workstream has a lot of responsibilities, and we're still trying to build a lot of things. And I don't want there to be less effort put into this than than it could be. There needs to be, someone who can really dedicate themselves to this, because this could, as John was discussing just before with, different ways that, the treasury can be used and different ways that we can be, providing Fox utility back to Fox holders. I mean, this is definitely a much larger conversation that has greater flexibility than a centralized company has. And I think that we would be doing ourselves and the DAO at large a disservice not having, some really dedicated people that are really working to like build this out and drive it forward.
I agree. And so, yeah, if you're looking for an opportunity and maybe want to try something out, this might be a good project. Never was. I saw your hand up.
Thanks, Danielle. Yeah, I just wanted to say to that topic of how this rewards program might fit in. I posted it in stage chat. It might be smart to have it as maybe a rewards committee that resided within the tokenomics workstream itself, and people like Petecoin and others that can't have as much time as they'd like to dedicate on would kind of be on that committee and advise and help that committee steer kind of like the DAO to where they want to go, or just be a part of voicing the DAO's concerns and putting things forward and stuff. But I don't know if it would have to be a direct responsibility of the tokenomics workstream leader or something like that, but more maybe they would just be involved because it would be like a committee that resided within the workstream itself.
Yeah, I mean, my view is it's clearly something that should be worked on by the tokenomics workstream. But to Danielle's point, that doesn't mean that someone else couldn't take up this particular aspect of the rewards program, like as a project, and lead that and work with the tokenomics workstream and the rest of the community to make sure it happens. But it can be very helpful if there's someone who wants to kind of volunteer as like, I want to lead this aspect, which is not necessarily the same as leading the tokenomics workstream, although they could overlap.
And for the record, Willie told me that I wasn't the only person that reached out. So if someone is looking to make that step forward and really try to grow that, committee or whatever it may be that Danielle and John have both sort of suggested, you will have help. not only from myself but from other people. I mean, this is super important stuff, and something that I think a lot of us would be passionate about.
Yeah, I definitely see committees something that we really haven't had a chance to explore. I mean, come on, we just started this stuff, but I think committees can be a very powerful asset and tool to work streams as well as the DAO itself. So I understand John's point. Definitely. I mean, it is going to need very close attention and a lot of a hands-on approach. So I just think that committees can be very much utilized as powerful tools and resources for a lot of work stream activities as well as other DAO things. So I think someone just jumped up that has some to speak about this. So I would rather let him speak.
Hey guys. So, by complete coincidence, I talked with Lily last week and offered myself for the position of tokenomics workstream leader. So and he's putting me through some intermediate steps to essentially prove to the community that I'll do at least a decent job of it. So, you guys want someone to step up? I'm on the path to doing that. So, let me know what I can do, and I'll try to advance these initiatives as best I can.
Awesome, Seth. Yeah, I thought I had heard that, but I wasn't sure if it was confirmed yet. So I'm really excited to hear your stepping forward. And I think, yeah, the beauty of this is that you can kind of take it any direction you want, and get feedback. I think collecting feedback, continuing these calls, hearing what people like. Peatcoin has good information on like what was successful and what wasn't. In the past, but yeah, I think at least in my opinion, it'd be nice just to be able to turn it over to someone and be like, okay, you're driving this project forward. You're making sure we don't just end the program and nothing replaces it.
Right. So if I succeed in becoming workstream leader, it's my job to take your problems and make them go away. So
I like it.
That's a bold promise, sir. I love it. Get it done.
All my problems, right?
Yeah. So, well, I'm not operating as workstream
my dog's
leader.
got a bum leg. You're gonna take care of that too. Like, can I just send you a list? Is there a spreadsheet, a Notion?
Superpowers to acquire. I'll add teleportation to the list. So, anyway, even though I'm not acting as workstream leader yet and nothing's official, I think taking on those responsibilities now is a good way to demonstrate to the community what I would be doing if elected. So
yeah, maybe this is a good, to that point then, Seth, kind of first task is kind of getting the right community members together. And, I know Pete offers his help. I'm very happy to, advise and help. I can't lead it myself on trying to put together some sort of proposal to the DAO from the tokenomics workstream, working, in it and with it, that about what, another reward program should look like, or just like taking up that torch to do some research and to do some thinking with the community to propose something that the DAO can actually vote on of like, let's fund this program or let's build this thing, whatever it may be.
interesting. One of the tasks Willie gave me was to take a tokenomics proposal and push it all the way to the end. So yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And I feel that having a meeting so that I can understand the intricacies of it would be very helpful to me. So that's what I would like the next step to be.
So maybe the best place to continue this is just in the next tokenomics workstream office hours, which I believe is what, next week? Am I making that up?
I think it's the 26th.
26th, yeah. So that would be next week, next Tuesday. Oh, we actually have a conflict that day. We have a community call at the same time. We might have to move that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm moving across the country starting on that day, so I'd love it to be a little earlier if we could, because I would love to make that.
Friday's the best day for me.
Well,
And
whatever the timing is, that can be figured out
Yeah.
after this call. But whenever that
Okay.
next call is, I think this is a good thing to bring up as a topic, and to maybe that works. The tokenomics work stream, whether it's led by you, Seth, or whatnot, should create a little committee of people who are interested to, dive deeper into this, have a couple, meetings, and come back to the work stream with some suggestions or a proposal.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Does anyone else in the audience have any ideas or any interest in working with Seth?
I know
Okay.
some other people have expressed interest who are either not here or maybe can't talk right now. I know Ron had some interesting ideas on this in the last call. I know Never Was has already expressed interest. Willie, myself, Pete, others are certainly going to be there to assist. So
Fox.
I don't think we'll have a lack of anyone wanting to help Seth. Oh, look, Fox McCloud jumped up.
I was just saying, I commented in the stage chat that I'd love to, excuse me, be able to help out with this, be a resource. So yeah, we can either talk in the next office hours, or Seth, feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, I am a tool for you to help you out.
All right.
Fox is a
Awesome.
super sharp dude. I would definitely reach out to him, Seth.
Okay, so I've heard that Ron, Fox McCloud, and Bitcoin. You three are interested. Is that it? Did I miss anyone?
Yeah, from this call, that sounds right. I would also suggest, putting it out in the greater, Discord at large and gathering more members, but I think you're accurate for this call.
And it sounds like you guys are meeting before then, but it would be cool to be able to follow up some of this like marketing, email communication, these blogs that we've posted. And we've kind of said this like, hey, we're turning this over, to the community. The community gets to make these decisions. It will be cool as you get updates, or like when this proposal, maybe do one proposal per program or however it goes, to kind of follow up that story that we've already started about, hey, yes, this one door is closing, but many things are opening. So just want to mention that and make sure, we're letting people know as these things get replaced and as we have these new ideas.
Yeah, great point.
One other question that came up, and I know this has been discussed a little bit, Danielle, is that right now to clean your Fox, it's 100 Fox. Do you know if the decision has been if we're keeping it that amount or if that's going to be changed?
Yeah, as far as I know, we're just keeping it that amount until the program ends.
Okay.
If you have like 99 Fox, message me.
That might be something nice to do on the last day, like the 31st or the 30th, before we end it completely, is just removing that 100 Fox qualifier, so that if someone does have slightly under, they can still claim it before they all get wiped to zero.
Yeah, it's just that point again about ShapeShift covering all the minor fees. And so, yeah, I mean, we can maybe pull a list of like how many outstanding rewards there are and see how many it affects. But as of now, our team that was working on this, we're not planning on doing that.
Yeah, so I think we've that kind of gives us a good sense of like next action steps and people who are going to be working on this. I would love, if anyone else in the community, we've kind of, through these 3 calls, we've discussed a lot of ideas. It sounds like Seth is going to take this up as an action item in, the tokenomics work stream in general. But if anyone else has any ideas they want to talk through or anything else they've seen that is something that we should explore. We do have time now, and I'd love to hear from any of those in the community. I've put out a lot of ideas between the last meeting and some at the beginning of this one, but yeah, not necessary. But if anyone wants to talk about what a reward program is they've been thinking about in the future, it might be a good time. And if not, maybe we end up winding down this meeting a little early today.
Yeah, not all at once
Yeah.
now.
Maybe we'll give it like another 30 seconds. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the stage chat or hop up, or raise your hand and we'll get you up on stage. All right. I think then we can maybe end this call a little bit early. Thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate it. And if you do have any questions, please reach out. We'll all be around.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
All right, well, I guess we'll leave it with some lo-fi beats for now, and I look forward to talking to people more soon about some of these topics, especially around the tokenomics work stream. Thanks, everybody.